G'day everyone, welcome to the shed. Yes, we are live here on Thursday night, usual time of 8 o'clock or just on. I did the long intro there. Unfortunately, this one didn't have any music. Apologise for that. I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning in and being here. This is the shed. We are in southeast Queensland, and if you haven't heard already, we've got a cyclone that's getting very close to us. So I might just give a shout out to our my supporters and chat community. Excuse me. We've got G from Funk and Hungry. We've got Mum and Dad are in the house. They're watching over on Facebook. Yes, we are live on Facebook. Got a few other people tuning in. We got Roger the Pirate. We've got Peter up and Shed Dog. Oh, not one, but two. Two shed dogs. Here they are, the stars of the show. They right on cue, very good, well trained, and for that, for that, these guys know what's in here. For that, we come back here so everyone can see you. Come on, come back here. Here we go. Just have it. There you go. Hang on, I'll tilt the camera down like I've done before. Who was that? Who got a grizzle? No? All right, gentle. There we go. Gentle. And a big thanks to my wife who's up there maybe watching, and the shed dogs. Maybe. So that must be. What? The dogs have got plenty of hair, Mum. Look, the dogs leave their hair all over the place. It's all right. There's plenty of hair on the dogs. Don't worry about it. One for you, one for you. There we go. And there's only two left. And the dogs usually only come up here because they know they're going to get something. So that's it. It's all over, and they know what's in this. It's like, give me more. I'm hungry, but you've been well fed. You've been well looked after. Well, as much as I want to stay here all night and scratch you guys under the chin, and I'm sure most people would love to watch that, I'm going to talk to the people that you can't see, that you don't know are here. Yes, yes. All right. There we go. The shed dogs, they've made their appearance. They'll hang around for a bit longer and then they'll go for a walk because, yes, no, you can't have that. Yes, I know you can smell it. I was just having a piece of cake and a cup of tea just before we got rolling here. Yeah, so to answer your question, Mum, the hair on the dogs is all there. They're just leaving it all over the place like they normally do. There goes Shed Dog 2. So there you go. There's your question answered, Mum. That's where all the hair's gone. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. So before we were interrupted with the shed dogs, yeah, you're right there, Roger. Two happy dogs, mate. Yep. Two happy dogs. They'd be even happier if I kept feeding them. But anyway, we've got a tropical cyclone hanging off the coast about 250 kilometres, and I'll just give you an approximation of where it is. This is off the Bureau of Meteorology. This is their official website. And in fact, I might just refresh that just to make sure we've got the latest. Yeah, no difference. So Brisbane City is south of me. I'm about an hour's north of Brisbane. And as you can see, the southern the system is in the southern part of the coast. The Gold Coast is getting pounded, as well as other beaches up the north coast, a place called Caloundra, which is about an hour north of me. And I'll just zoom in on that so it makes it a bit bigger, I think, on the screen. So that should look a bit better. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. Oh, Peter wants his cyclone back. I thought you'd had enough rain by now, Peter. So the cyclone is travelling slowly towards the coast. At the moment, it's rated at a Category 2, and then it may, as it hits its landfall, it may intensify, or it may just go down to a Category 1, then drop into a rain depression or something like that. They've pushed the date back on when it was actually going to hit landfall, but the effects are already being felt. And, you know, the Queensland government, as well as the governments of Northern New South Wales, have asked all the people, if you don't need to go out on the road, stay inside, safest place to be. A lot of companies, including mine, they shut down Wednesday, like lunchtime Wednesday. I went to work today, only had a short day. We're having tomorrow off. Yeah, we used them with some, yeah, well, yeah. I don't think everyone's going to agree with you on that note, Pete. But anyway, that's your opinion. All I can say is please heed to the warnings of the authorities to make sure that you stay safe. There are evacuation centres, I'm sure, near you if you need to go there. However, staying inside is your best bet, and listening to the radio or keeping your mobile phone handy or whatever device you're watching the coverage on. And there's plenty of coverage, not just the mainstream media, but it's all over the radio, on YouTube. There's people live streaming from the Gold Coast and other places, various plane spotters that I watch from time to time, showing footage that they're taking. Obviously, Gold Coast Airport's been shut down. At this moment, I think Brisbane is still open, but some of the airlines have decided to cancel flights. Thanks, Roger. So I should explain that where we are here at home, we're not really feeling any of the effects just yet. We've had light showers. My wife and I have cleaned up any loose items. We've rearranged things, stacked things away, that sort of thing, to be prepared. And the only thing we haven't done is gone out panic buying, like most other, a lot of other people have been doing. You know, it's a bit it's a bit sad actually, but it's no surprise whatsoever as to what's been going on. Some shops are running out, others aren't, and they're doing their best to you know, stay stocked up, but of course they're limited on what they can do. No, okay, so right, the wife's in the chat as well, so hello to my darling. Yep, we are prepared. We have a wood stove, and water in the kettle. We've got gas bottles, gas barbecue, all that sort of stuff. And wife is saying now Brisbane is now closed. Mum and Dad are in Brisbane. And who we got here? Double click to update. Righto, mate. Brizzy Skater 1. Brizzy Skater 1. Thanks for being here, mate. I think you're a first time in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Glad you've got a new laptop. Hope you come back. And just playing catch up in the yeah. Okay, let's get rid of that. Righto. So that's there we go. Anyway, that's enough of that. We've seen enough of that. Now, as you know, there's another shed dog. What are you licking? I wouldn't be licking that. So this shed dog, a young shed dog, likes to chew things, and chewing things. One of his favourite things is clay. We Those of you who've been watching for a while, we dug up part of the yard as we had to put a drainage pit in for the overflow with a tank off the shed here. Now we've got more roof area, and we've got quite a bit of clay. Most of it's clay around here, and Shed Dog likes picking up clay and chewing on it and devouring it like you wouldn't believe. Plus other things like things are plastic, and of course when that happens, it comes out of the tail end. What do you do? What do you do? Oh, okay, righto. Right. Of course. Now I know. Brizzy Skater 1 is my sister. G'day, Kerry. Welcome to the show. Everyone's here now. The whole family's here. Oh my God. Look, I had a bit of being on my best behaviour, but maybe not. Yeah, no. I don't need anything like that. Anyway, that's a cup of tea done. Nice. On with the show. Righto. So, oops, no, wrong. Okay, now most of you know that back here, most of you know that I work for an earth moving company, and we had a couple of our machines over on Bribey Island doing some work. Also Scarborough. I did post them on social media, or not the ones at Scarborough. This is the bulldozers pushing up sand on Bribey Island. The waves had eroded the sand from the dunes. So we had two dozers over there. Now, yes, they are going into the ocean. They are getting washed down with clean water after they get used, and they're also being sprayed with lanolin. The other thing is that most people may not be aware is that no, Peter, he's a pup, and he's just eating anything he can when he gets bored sometimes. So you can see that ute in the background, that's Channel 9 News, and we did make Channel 9 News at one stage, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And for those of you who don't know, when you have a lot of water on sand, or if you have been forward driving, the sand is at its hardest when it's down in water or covered in water. The more water, the harder the sand gets. As you can see, and as you know, if you've been to the beach, you walk on the white fluffy sand and it's quite soft, and you go down, and various vehicles get bogged if they're on the white stuff. But the closer you get to the water line, the harder it gets, and the dozers don't have any problem, working in that sort of situation. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so we'll stop sharing here. And yeah, Peter, they usually do. Well, some people do, some people don't. It'll vary if they want to keep up to date with the news, but we all know the news is slightly exaggerated. For instance, my wife was watching a segment on what she saw on social media, and the news used it in their footage tonight, but they only showed like about 10 seconds of the thing. And of course, there was the most dramatized bit where someone's going, oh, blah, 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 beep, sort of thing. That's what the news does. Anyway, back onto, we've had enough. Hello, Emma. Yeah, Emma, it's Thursday already. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We're going to go over to the live. we're going to go over to the lathe cam now. We're going to do a bit of live machining. We've had enough of the cyclone and that. If you really want more, go on social media or your TV stations and find out more about it. So here we are looking down on the lathe. Yeah, thing up there so I can just see the chats. Yeah. Right. All right, so I've got this all set up, and this is for the steamroller down at the club. These go on to, they bolt onto the side of the boiler. They go in front of the rear rolls and scrape any stone chips off or anything like that, except build up of stuff. Simple tuning job. I did most of this at work. I'm just finishing it off here, and we'll get right into it. Bit of bad vibration there, didn't it? Let's make sure everything's nice and tight, which it should be. Didn't have this problem before. Let's try it again. Oh, have vibrations. There we go. Okay, I agree. Thanks for being here, mate. Richard from Simone. Yeah, like, obviously being affected, that happened here. So we're pretty lucky, we're very fortunate. Obviously, there's probably going to serve this problem. Great to do what I like there. Which is probably the on the Just one, two. Just one, two. Right, how's that? I think the other one might go over. Right. Hopefully that's a bit better. Thanks, Peter. Well, I guess to see it now. It's in the wrong way. Yeah, that was a long time. I think old number two might gets a bit hot. It's like the battery's expanding, so. Other than that, I haven't asked me any words about mouse controller here. It's high process, it's of course, we're getting ready. Still got a bit of time, like the dinner in the laundry. It's they're getting high 50 miles.
getting close to the end of the up, so it's the guy to me. Down. I think we'll take it on top.
Last time I had this problem, I changed over to a different tool and that made all the difference. There it is. So we'll put a different tool in. Let's come back here.
Touch off. Sending them down. It's like a small car.
Often, I'll just take a measurement here. Often a light cut. It's right on to where that is perfect.
On the white top and often a white top connects the forms the operation. So therefore, when you work these tools pretty hard, make it on part of the work better. Right, I'll get away from the line. It's probably the noise of the line that's interfering with the audio. With white the eyes, actually that's what we better. Noise of the eye actually maybe something not young is in there, you can say that. It's there, we can help with the city.
Apologies for the audio. I didn't realise it was going to be as bad as it was. I have previously done machining and talked at the same time with the audio, but that obviously hasn't. Let's go back here. Here we go. Right, we're back on screen. Once again, apologies for the audio. Normally, I haven't had that problem in the past, except, well, things do go wrong. But anyway, moving on. Righto. So we're talking about steamrollers, or what's been going on with the steamroller. As said, the boiler's over there. In fact, I'll turn that around. Let's turn that around. Those of you who haven't been here before, let me just rearrange the other camera. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. I'll just adjust that. There we go. Somebody's bald head. Righto. So there's the boiler. And you can see some other bits and pieces sticking up. I've had bits sandblasted. We're having mic problems again, are we? Shouldn't be. No, that's coming through all right on my end. I'm hearing that fine. Right, so yes, the boiler. That's what we're talking about. We're doing work on the boiler. As you can see, there's various bits that are missing off it. I can't zoom in there. There has to be this engine spent most of its life out in the open, and when that sort of thing happens, you need to rectify some issues. Oh. There we go. Right. So, as mentioned before, the steamroller has spent I'd say all its life outside, out in the open. And when that sort of thing happens, deterioration takes place. Now, to give you an idea, right, and you might recognise a couple of faces here. Screen. Now this, for instance, this is a photo of the same type of steamroller as the one we're working on. And it'll be up soon. There you go. Let's just come on screen now. You might recognise a couple of people in the on the side there. So very much this steamroller that you're looking at here is exactly the same as the one we're working on. And you can see the state of that one, what sort of condition it's in. This one has also, excuse me, spent most of its life, or if not its entire life, out in the open. Now, when we got this one, we went for a trip up to Rockhampton Historical Village, and had a close look at this one. This one has a lot of bits on it that ours doesn't, but at the same time, this one's also missing some bits as well. And it was a very, very successful trip that we went on. We flew up and we spent some time. It was a good trip. My wife's grandson is quite young there. He first time on a plane, he enjoyed it. And yeah, we really got a lot of detail off this one when we went and had a look at it. Yeah, it was the lathe interfering, Kerry. The lathe is quite noisy, especially when I'm doing stuff like that. So it just takes over everything. Thanks, Adrian, for letting me know all clear. Right. I don't know why I sound quiet, Pete, because oh, hang on. Oh, okay, righto. All right. Here we go. My fault. That should sound better now. Bugger. Right. So the audio should sound perfectly clear now because I wasn't on the right one. I'm now on the wireless microphone. So that was my fault. It's a setting I didn't check. I checked everything else, but anyway, sounds even better. Right, go. Okay, so I'll just restart again. So this is a steamroller in the Rockhampton Historical Museum. It's the same type of steamroller that we're working on here at home, and it has a lot of the same components. Yeah, Peter, the penny finally dropped. Yeah, look, hey mate, things go like professional television shows and live crosses to news reporters. Things go wrong, so those, I can have things go wrong as well. No, Adrian, this was quite a few years ago. It wasn't long after I got the roller that we went and had a look at this. This was quite a long time ago, Adrian. I must point that out, mate. Sorry. Otherwise, if I was there, I would have made contact with you and made arrangements to catch up. So yeah, this was back in 2018, not long after we brought the roller home, and this one is now undercover. I think a lot of their stuff is now undercover. Adrian, if you get the chance, go and have a look. It's a really nice museum. They've got a lot of stuff there. Unfortunately, like some museums, not a lot of it. It's not functional. It's just more of a static museum. And what we found with the club at Petrie, when we operate the equipment there, people are more interested. They stay longer instead of just sort of walking past it and seeing this static display. There is a time and a place for static displays, but you also need displays that operate, and that's one thing we do down at the club at Petrie, old Petrie Town. So getting back to this, this one used to work at Rockhampton City Council, and many years ago, actually when I was a kid at home, still living at home, I can remember Dad reading out I think it was the Courier Mail or the Telegraph, one of those two, but there was a position being advertised in Rockhampton City Council for a steamroller driver. And this was back in the 70s, early 70s, mid 70s. They were still operating these. And it would have been nice to keep that advertisement, but sadly it wasn't. So they were certainly reaching out far and wide back then for looking for someone to drive the steamrollers to roll the roads around Rockhampton. But it's good to see this thing's preserved and now undercover. It's from when we looked at it, it was pretty sad, probably in worse condition than what this one of ours is. I would imagine that these are both equally spent time outside in the elements. And being in Rockhampton, I thought maybe it might have been, a lot drier, but this one still has its boiler lagging on, and that can cause problems, especially when it's been sitting and just deteriorates outside. Right, moving on. So that was there's there's a lot more photos in details. For instance, this one here shows you the handbrake assembly. Now, this is part of the bits that are missing off our steamroller. Also, the piece that, we got that on screen. This long shaft here, I'll have to make up. That's a fairly basic job. It's a piece of 1-inch steel. with the thread cut in the bottom, and you know, just a few other bits and pieces. So it's all work that needs to be done. It doesn't need to be done straight away because we don't need that piece straight away. It may be something I have to get someone to do just to help me out. These are the side covers or the motion guard covers that were fitted to a lot of steamrollers and traction engines. Mine didn't have these at all. These are the original, and I will eventually get round to making these and putting back on, but for the moment, there's just no need. And if you look in the photo, you can see about the deterioration of the boiler lagging that I'm talking about, and you know, it's pretty sad. And they really need to take, you know, the boiler lagging off and to help preserve it. But as this is a static museum, I don't think that sort of thing. They've got more than enough work to keep them occupied. Now these things here are what they call a clack valve. Now these things serve a purpose of stopping the boiler pressure escaping, but also allowing you to put water into the boiler at the same time. Cherinator, you're in the house. G'day, mate. How are you? Thanks for being here. These were missing off mine. However, at the time when we were up there, we did ask if we could borrow some parts off, and unfortunately that wasn't allowed. It would have been nice. Could have got some patterns made. I do have the drawing for this, so that does help. And the young guy down in Melbourne, Dan, who's also restoring the same type of steamroller as what we're doing, I believe he may be getting patterns and castings done for these. I haven't spoken to him in a while, which I need to catch up. Sorry, I'm just playing catch up here in the chat. Righto. Right. Anyway, moving on. Now the other big ticket item that I'm missing off this steamroller is this item here. This casting, as you can see, bolts onto the water pump, and that allows you to put water into the boiler while the engine is turning over. This is fairly involved casting, as you can see, and this one is missing some bits. However, the main body of the casting is there, and it's simply a valve that when you turn the lever one way, it pushes water into the boiler. When you turn it the other way, it runs back into the tender. And because these things were easy to remove, they got taken and, you know, by the fairies, taken by the fairies. Other things like this here, this is tell you to clean out your boiler every 10 days because constantly boiling water, you build up lime scale and all that sort of stuff. And to give you an idea of how bad the lime scale was, we'll stop sharing that at the moment. I'll give you an idea on how bad the lime scale was. I've showed this before, but I'll talk about it again. This is one of the old boiler tubes, or part of the old boiler tubes that we took out. And that's the lime scale that's built up. Now, in places, it's like a mountain, absolute mountain. And the boiler was chock-a-block full of lime scale. And in fact, we had that much lime scale in the boiler. When we started first cleaning it out, my wife would actually reach in there and grab large chunks out, quite large chunks. Now, what lime scale does is inhibits the boiler from boiling the water efficiently. All right, good night. Catch you later, Kerry. All right. Okay, just playing catch up there. Where was I? Lime scale in the boiler. Just like boiling a kettle, after a long period of time of boiling water, you will get lime scale built up, and it doesn't do your boiler any good. In fact, it inhibits the efficiency of the boiler, but creates like a layer of insulation on there, and that's no good. And that's why it's recommended to, excuse me, that cup of tea's coming back on me. That's why it's recommended to wash the boiler out every 10 days, especially in areas of if you've got hard water. There is soft water and hard water, different water around your area or your place of wherever you live. Some will have hard water, some will have soft water. It's just the amount of impurities in the water that causes your problems. That's why you run boiler treatment and wash them out regularly. So anyway, when this boiler goes back into service, it'll be nice and clean because we've got a lot of it out. We were getting, you know, we had a small kid's toy. In fact, at the time, we were using this thing here, and we're pretty well filling that up a couple of times. There's some dog toys in there if you want. Yeah, so it's amazing when these boilers sit around for so long. And the thumbnail I used for tonight's live stream is the steamroller down at Petrie, and that was me dressed up. I went down and washed it out the other night because we're doing some maintenance on it. Not the other night, a few weeks back. And when that happened, I end up getting a spoon out of it, like a teaspoon about that long. And it had been in the boiler. We'd previously done washouts and haven't been able to, you know, we got stuff out of there, but this thing must have been lodged in place. And I'd say it's pretty well a genuine silver spoon because there was no rust, or there's very little rust on it, no deterioration, still in perfect order. And it's been in there all that time. So it's amazing what you find. And when we're cleaning the tender out of this thing, we found all sorts of things in it. It really is. G'day, Stylesy. Thanks for being here, mate. Yeah, we're doing pretty well. I did cover that earlier on in the live stream, pretty well first up. At the moment, it's still quite the way off. Just do a quick recap here for Stylesy. And we're safe. We're you know, it hasn't hit us yet. The coastal areas are getting pounded, and I'm sure you're seeing plenty of that on your social media feeds, or you can go and look at it on YouTube, the Gold Coast. I'm north of Brisbane, and slightly inland, so we're not really being affected at this moment, but that could change, and they're expected it to come in Saturday night now. So tomorrow, I'm not working tomorrow. A lot of places have shut down, and that includes my work. So hang on, I've got to put my glasses on. Yeah. So anyway, that's sort of what's been happening in the shed lately. We're still progressing on and doing little things. Depending on we may not get anything done over the weekend. Of course, it all depends on how much rain we're going to get. We're definitely going to get, you know, something. It all depends if it intensifies or what. But at the moment, we've had a few showers, a little bit overcast. As you can see, I'm in a singlet. It's nice. The weather's sort of nice and warm. You know, so at this moment we're safe. We haven't gone out and panic buy anything like that. You know, so yeah, that's where we're at the moment. And until that changes, we'll just carry on regardless. Well, Adrian, I've never just answer. Hang on, where are we? See, that jumped pretty quick. Where did that go? Hmm? How come the who did that? Sorry. Hang on a second. Don't know why Adrian's. Don't know why. Anyway. Oh, Adrian must have done it. No. Well, when I was down at Dreamworld, Adrian, we used to at some stage we did use caustic soda, and that was to soften the water because our water softener had broken down. What we were doing, we had a water softener that we'd add in bags of salt to soften the water. At Dreamworld, we use boiler treatment. I haven't had this boiler in steam at the moment, Adrian. Even since when we got it, all we've done is cut the tubes out, clean it out as best we can. We're doing some work like I showed you when you were here last time. Geez, it's around Christmas time. We are down at the club at Old Petrie Town. We are using boiler treatment. Now, boiler treatment is a combination of quite a few different chemicals to help reduce the buildup of the solids and various other things in the boiler. However, it doesn't always work, and sometimes some people can overdose a boiler, which can also cause you some problems as well. But when we get this running, I will be running boiler treatment in it. I may give it a light acid wash inside to get any remaining lime scale out. Because as good as the job that we have done in cleaning this boiler out, there's still places in the boiler where there's lime scale buildup of probably about anywhere from 1 millimetre to 2 millimetres, which we can't get to, in between the side sheets of the inner and outer firebox. It's so an acid wash might be the way to go, and I might have to do that a couple of times, but we'll see. And it's just going to be a wait and see. This boiler, one thing I have found working on this boiler, being the size that it is, I'm able to really access all sorts of different places compared to, say, a bigger boiler, where some of them you can't either get into and look, or but that's where you get cameras, inspection cameras to get in there. And in fact, your mobile phone, you'd be surprised where you can get this thing in and take photos inside a boiler. I've used it many a time, and it's absolutely brilliant. Of course, the only thing you got to do is try and get some extra light in there, especially if you're trying to, being inside a boiler, it's a dark place. You need to light it up. And things like these, oops, things like these lights, these are from Trade Tools. This is the Renegade brand. This one hasn't got a magnetic base on it at all, but they show some brilliant light, as you can see. Rechargeable by USB. They're just absolutely fantastic for working on boilers or cars or steam engines or whatever you want to. This one here is a big version. It's got a magnetic base, same sort of principle. They can swivel up and down, nice and bright. Absolutely fantastic for getting inside a boiler and lighting the place up to see what's going on. Righto, well, that's about it. I don't think I'll... No, Adrian, I haven't. The briquettes. No. Oh, that's right. You guys used to use briquettes on the railways. Yeah, I've heard of that. No, I've never come across them. The stuff we get today is in 20-litre bottles. I think it's Tandex or something like that, something similar. There's a couple of different companies out there that use boiler treatment, different types of boiler treatment. Everyone's got their own thing. But even back in the day, I heard of people using, or especially sawmills, getting a hessian bag and putting the sawdust in there and putting it in the water to get the tannin out of the sawdust and using that as a boiler treatment. I mean, that's going way back, but obviously the cleaner the water, the better. And if you got really nice pure water, you're not going to have problem. Well, you'll probably have less problems, but you definitely need to run boiler treatment. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know how true it is, and it probably all depends on the type of timber too. If you I think that's like an old wives' tale sort of thing. I've never seen it in practice. I've only ever dealt with boiler treatments from Marford feed water. But they're not Marford. They're Spirax Sarco now, but there are companies that deal. You could probably use. Some mobs will supply you with a filtration system, or might use reverse osmosis to get the impurities out. So you got pure water. The shed dogs, my wife takes them to aquatherapy, and I think the lady that runs the aquatherapy process there, when the dogs are in, doing their thing, I think that's a reverse osmosis, and I know that's used on pools and things like that. Yeah, there you go. You're absolutely right, Adrian. That's it. Hardwood has tannin. Yeah. Like I said, I've only heard that story once. I've never seen it in practice. Yeah, you wouldn't know. But I mean, the only sawmill that I know of that runs on steam now is the one at Grandchester. Whether it still runs or not, I don't know. That'd be an interesting place. But most sawmills now just run on power, obviously. So yeah. Well, folks, I've been rattling on almost an hour now, and I think I'm going to wrap it up at that. Time to go have a drink of water or another cup of tea or something like that. Put my feet up, watch a bit of TV or something. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Stay safe, look after yourself and each other, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Whistle.